Hi guys, welcome back. So, I'm just going to say it. Natacha Océane, you were right. I thought it is maybe a good idea to do a sit-down video for you guys just about my health and fitness journey. In the past 2 years, I've lost 20 kilograms and I've kept it off. But the journey was not really easy until now. I was quite a chubby child, to be honest. I'll insert some pictures. I am the only child, and I think that contributed to a more like relaxing, stationary childhood, if I could say it like that. And my parents were also really quite overweight and unhealthy. We had lots of unhealthy habits. I was not an athletic child at all. Mother would also always tell the story about little Chanel with our first athletic activity or whatever. And she would also always tell the story about me. Well, it looked like I was trying to run and my body would move, but it would look like I would not move forward. So yeah, that is quite a funny story. And unfortunately, that was my first interaction with exercise, I would say. And to be honest, that is quite an embarrassing thing for a child, you know, come last in a 100-meter sprint. And yeah, so I was a child who loved school, but every beginning of each year we would do athletics, and I would always be excited to go back to school. But the first week of school we always did the athletic tryouts, and I hated that. I think for a young child to get easily red, especially for a girl, and sweating, it's really just not a pleasant experience, I would say. Yeah, so unfortunately that was my first interaction with exercise, and unfortunately that made me really not like exercise. I started with ballet when I was about 5 years old, and I stick to it until I think I was 8-9 years old. And then from the age 10, I think, until the age 15, I did flamenco dancing. If you don't know, flamenco dancing is a type of Spanish dance, and it involves a lot of footwork. So I truly believed that all that footwork contributed to my big thighs. In retrospect, when I think back, I don't really think that was the case, but I really believe that. And even though you could say I was maybe active 3 to 5 days a week, our unhealthy habits at home, unhealthy eating habits, did really not contribute to any of that, so that really did not help. When I started high school, I think a lot of girls, including me, you are really focused on how you look. So in 2010, South Africa hosted the Soccer World Cup, and we had like a vacation for 6 weeks. At the beginning of that vacation, I thought, you know, it's maybe a good idea if I started exercising and eating better. And luckily we had a spinning bike at home. So I started spinning 30 minutes every day and focusing on my eating habits. And I don't remember weighing myself, but I lost quite some weight. And I remember it was like, I don't know what to call it, a makeover period for me. So after those 6 weeks of healthy eating, losing some weight, I went to the hairdresser and got some highlights in my hair just for the full makeover. And to be honest, it felt good going back to school. A lot of people could see that I looked different, and I got a lot of compliments. I know there is a lot of controversy about giving people compliments about losing weight and how they look, but I felt good. And actually I stick to healthy eating habits, not toxic, for the rest of my school year. I will insert some pictures for of my school days. And then in grade 12, our last year of school, we had prom at the end of the year. We call it matric farewell in South Africa. And I remember, I would say 3 months before my matric farewell, I did a short period of dieting again, or more, I would say more like healthy eating, but eating less, and also did the spinning bike. and I lost, I can't remember, I think it was 70 kgs in like 3 months or something. And I truly believe that was maybe the thinnest I've ever been. And after school, I went to college. I studied at the Northwest University in Potchefstroom, and everything went well. Well, to be honest, I studied BCom Business Management. For me, that was actually quite, I would not say easy, but it was definitely a lot easier than matric. So I stayed in my own apartment and I had quite some time on my hands. So I cooked my own food. I walked to campus. It was not that far, but considering, you know, you don't necessarily wear the greatest shoes. Some of the days I just wear flip-flops. It's very hot in Potchefstroom in the summer. So, and you have your whole bookcase and so on. So I did that for the first year. At the end of the year, I realized, well, you know, my grades were very great. I did not redo any exams. And that December, I thought to myself, you know what, maybe it is a good idea to transition my degree to law. In a short summary, that was not a great decision. A law degree requires every bit of you, emotionally and physically, but I stick to it. I had no time on my hands. I studied from early in the morning till late at night. And then I resorted to things like takeaways. Potchefstroom, or the Northwest University in Potchefstroom, all the restaurants and takeaway places around there is very cheap to accommodate the students. So you could eat a lot of food for really not a lot of money. And I resorted to that because I did not have a lot of time on my hands. And unfortunately, I believe things have changed now, but in my days, the food was not very healthy. It was not like you can go out. When I watch YouTube videos and I see the nice salads and things you can buy, for instance, at A1 in America, I think to myself, you know, I just wish somebody in Potchefstroom could see that and could take the idea and, you know, incorporate some healthy meals for the students. But unfortunately, there were really no healthy options. I think the healthiest option you could get at our student center, for instance, was like a pasta salad. And I would usually get that, but I mean, you get so sick of it to eat pasta salad every single day. But anyway, I think in that period of 4 years, I have gained 24 kilograms. In my mind, I was thinking back to my matric farewell and my high school days where I could lose a lot of weight in a short period of time. And I thought to myself, you know what, just get this degree and you will figure this out afterwards. So yeah, that is what was in my mind, in the back of my mind. So I finished my degree, and at that December of 2018, and at the start of 2019 in March, and my high school sweetheart got married. And I remember in my head I thought maybe in this 3-4 months I could at least lose like 10 kilograms. And I was so under stress about the wedding arrangements, and you know, it is really crazy to organize a wedding. Arne and I also like drove 2 days a week in the evening to a lady who helped us with our dance, with our wedding dance. So even though I could maybe think back and think, you know, I could maybe went to the gym, I was very busy during the day, that would also not have worked. So yeah, I think even at my wedding day, I was even heavier than when I finished my degree. And to be honest, it is sometimes really sad to me to look back at my wedding photos, to not have that dream body, my dream body in that dress. It is sad to me, but if I can give you the whole picture, a year after our wedding, exactly a year after our wedding, on our first anniversary, we were watching the news, and it was our president who said, guys, yeah, 4 days, we're going into a hard lockdown. So just to think about it, if I would maybe decided to push back the wedding for another year, it would not have worked because it was hard lockdown. and I saw a lot of brides who had to push back their wedding because of COVID, and it was really like a stressful and a terrible time. So I'm glad I did not do that. And even though I could have said, you know, I'll push back the wedding 2 years for 2021, that would also not have worked, because a year after lockdown, my father got very ill. He got cancer. So yeah, that was a terrible, terrible time. A year after COVID, or well, it was still COVID, he died. So yeah, sometimes life is so much more than just your dream body in your wedding dress. If I would have pushed back the wedding for, say, another 2 years, and maybe I could have lost all the weight and have my dream body, I would not have had my father on my side. We had such special memories. We had a horse cart that took us to the church. I'll insert some pictures. And just those special memories where he walked me down the aisle, his speech, and our first father-daughter dance. I would have missed all of that. I would not have had him on my side. So yeah, I would not have swapped things if I knew what I know now. So yeah, just to give you an overview of the lockdown period, I was still very unhealthy. It was a year after our marriage, or after our wedding. I was still very unhealthy, and I remember the day the president told us, you know, in 4 days you are going into hard lockdown. Arne and I drove to one of the Checkers hypers, and we bought everything. We bought frozen pizzas, because I was in my mind, you know, you can't get takeaway pizzas, so I would make it at home. So we got frozen pizzas, ice cream, sweets, everything unhealthy. I was just so scared. Because my father was also ill, I really tried not to go to the shops often, and that is why I decided to, you know, buy a bunch of food just to have in the house, so that I don't have to go to the shops that often. And I truly believe that lockdown was my turning point. So after 3 weeks, or I can't remember, it was 3 to 5 weeks of hard lockdown, I really did not even go out of the house. I felt terrible. You know, I have eaten all that food. I was feeling very sluggish. You know, we stayed in a small apartment, so you are not really active when you stay in such a small apartment. And it's not like I did home workouts or anything. I was not working out at all. And then a few weeks later, sorry guys, my camera died. Anyway, well, a few weeks later, the president announced that we will be allowed to do exercise and walks in our neighborhood. And I was so excited to just get out of the house that I went to my dresser and get my trainers at the back of the dresser. And that next morning, Arne and I went on our first walk. I can't remember how far we walked, but it was maybe like an half an hour's just relaxed walk. And then the day after that, we did a 3K, and as the days went on, the weeks went on, we worked ourselves up until to a 5K walk. And I remember feeling so much better. And it was crazy for me, you know, for someone who really hated exercising. Even though in my first year of college, I walked to class. It was about, I don't know, 20-minute walk. I really hated it. But in retrospect, you know, you don't have the greatest shoes on, you have a backpack and everything, as I said. And now I felt so good. And it was crazy. I had that first, I don't know if it's the first endorphin rush. I don't know if you get something like that. But I felt so good. So we kept on doing that, and yeah, I felt so much better. And I think I lost a bit of weight. And then I realized, you know, maybe if you like focus on what you're eating as well, you can lose some weight. Because the walking is not very, it's not like an excessive workout or something. So that eased me basically into my fitness journey. a few months after that, the president announced we can go to the gym. And I thought, you know, okay, well, this is good because Arno starts to work very early in the morning. We could only do a 5k walk. And so I thought, okay, if I maybe go to a gym, I can walk for like, say, an hour. So I went to the gym, got my gym subscription, and then I went every morning to do an hour walk. Or like, I can't remember, it was like a year and a half. And I would say just walking an hour a day and eating healthy. So what I did is, I know there's a lot of controversy about calorie counting, but that is what I started off with. At first, when I started walking just in the neighborhood, when I started to eating better, it was more of my old toxic thinking, you know, very diet culture thinking, very restrictive eating. And luckily, when I started gymming and, you know, going further in the process, I came across Instagram accounts and YouTube videos where they talked about calorie counting. And I thought, well, this is interesting because if it fits into your calorie budget, and I know that is not all that matters, I know that now, you know, you can eat everything, but not everything at once. So that gave me quite some food freedom. So I started calorie counting. At first my calories were quite restrictive, I would say, and then I realized, you know, you can't survive like this, and I upped my calories. So I went to the gym every morning and I basically eat everything. As I said, just not everything at once. So through the years I fiddled with my calorie counting, with my calorie count, and I upped it. So I would say in that period I lost 20 kilograms. But the interesting thing for me was I always looked at people like Carla Sands, for example, and with her HIIT workouts, and I just thought to myself, you know, if that is what I should do to have a body like hers, there's no way I would do it. Just thinking I need to do push-ups and burpees, that was just terrible to me, you know, that is like torture. So the great thing for me was to think, you know, if I just walked, I could lose all this weight. Obviously, when you do an exercise, the same exercise every day for like 2 years, you get quite sick of it. So I remembered my spinning days. I really enjoyed the spin. Obviously, I was not living in my in my parents' house anymore, and they did not have the spinning bike anymore. But in the gym, I decided just to switch things up, I will go and do the spinning bike. And yeah, it's basically a year later, and we got our own spinning bike at home, and I spin every day. But now the trick is, where am I now? So I'm just going to say it. Natacha Océane, you were right. I watched her videos in this journey, and she really focused on weight training to keep up your metabolism. And I thought, you know, I like what I'm doing and it's working. I'm walking, I'm eating healthy, and I'm losing weight. But now I would say I'm about 10 kgs from where I want to be. I know you can't really tell where you would like your weight to be. You need to get to a certain point to see if it suits your body and if it's healthy. But yeah, I'm at a plateau because I have no muscle. I've really no muscle. So what I'm doing right now at this stage is I am incorporating weight training. I've got some weights at home and I still have my gym subscription. So for this next year, or well, for my lifetime, I will be incorporating weightlifting or weight training. I don't like the word weightlifting. It sounds like bodybuilding and I'm not doing bodybuilding. And I'm definitely more focused on protein and upping my protein and focusing on my calories. I don't think I will be doing like a bulk and a cut as some influencers do. I don't think I'm on that level, and I don't think I will maybe one day get to that level, but for me, I still have quite some fat I want to lose. So yeah, that is what I will be doing. I will bring you along with this journey and give you updates. But yeah, so this is my story. I think it is always a good idea to challenge yourself, even if you believe that you really hate something. For example, exercise. I truly believed that it is like the worst thing. It is, I believe that exercise is torture, and I'm just so glad. If you want to start with a weight loss journey or with your health and fitness journey, you can't always rely on motivation. It is really a routine and good habits. Some days I would walk in the gym or spin in the gym and I wasn't really not feeling it. It was in the time that my dad was so ill, and I just thought to myself, you know, at this very moment he's sitting at chemo and radiation, and here I am, young and healthy, and I can actually do something about my health. So that kept me going. If you have the ability to change your health, please do that. Because one day when you're old and sick, and I don't say it's just old and sick people who get cancer, everyone can get cancer, but there's people fighting out there for their lives. If you're here, sitting here and watching this video, and you are healthy and you have the ability to go out and exercise, please do that. One day you will be really glad you did. And I know it's not about health and fitness. That is not the only thing that can stop cancer. You don't have the choice if you get cancer or not. I know a lot of healthy people who got cancer, and even quite some years, I think it was like 10 years before my father got ill or he got cancer, he lost so much weight and he was fit and he played golf every weekend and he went for a walk every morning. He ate healthy. So that is not the thing, but just what I'm saying is, if your body has the ability to go out there and exercise, you will feel better. To be honest, I think there were times in my life, the past 2 years obviously with my dad passing away, I had a bit of depression, and exercise really helped with that. You know, after that morning workout, you can feel, you know, I can go on with my day, I can go and accomplish things. So yeah, I hope that that motivated you a bit, and just I hope this gave you an overview of my story and my health and fitness journey. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you definitely in the next one. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Okay, bye.